folks, it's time to take a look at the Pokédex's 4th batch of 100 from Pokémon Scarlet, so buckle in for a hefty helping of lore delivered in numerical order. Hawlucha, wrestling Pokémon. Its elegant finishing moves, performed by nimbly leaping around using its wings, are polished in the forest where it was born and raised. Spiritomb, forbidden Pokémon. Its constant mischief and misdeeds resulted in it being bound to an odd keystone by a mysterious spell. Noibat, sound wave Pokémon. This Pokémon emits ultrasonic waves from its large ears to search for fruit to eat. It mistakes Applin for its food. Noivern, sound wave Pokémon. Ultrasonic waves emitted by a Noivern can pulverize a large boulder. This Pokémon has a cruel disposition. Dreepy, lingering Pokémon. In the evening, groups of Dreepy will fly at high speeds over the ocean and poke at Pokémon in the water for fun. Dracloak, caretaker Pokémon. This Pokémon flies around at over 120 miles per hour. If a Dracloak is defeated in battle, its Dreepy will wander off without a second thought. Dragapult, stealth Pokémon. Dragapult can make its whole body transparent by clearing its mind and focusing. Even the Dreepy and Dragapult's horns become invisible. Clement, Ore Pokémon. It absorbs nutrients from cave walls. The petals it wears are made of crystallized poison. Glimora, Ore Pokémon. When this Pokémon detects danger, it will open up its crystalline petals and fire beams from its conical body. Rotom, Plasma Pokémon. Its electricity-like body can enter some kinds of machines and take control in order to make mischief. Greavard, Ghost Dog Pokémon. It is said that a dog Pokémon that died in the wild without ever interacting with a human was reborn as this Pokémon. Houndstone, Ghost Dog Pokémon. Houndstone spends most of its time sleeping in graveyards. Among all the dog Pokémon, this one is most loyal to its master. Oranguru, Sage Pokémon. People used to mistake Oranguru for a human when they saw it issue command after command to the other Pokémon in the forest. Passimian, teamwork Pokémon. This Pokémon battles by throwing hard berries. It won't obey a trainer who throws Pokeballs without skill. Komala, drowsing Pokémon. Komala spends its entire life sleeping. It feeds on leaves that contain a potent poison only Komala can break down. Larvitar, rock skin Pokémon. Born deep underground, this Pokémon becomes a pupa after eating enough dirt to make a mountain. Pupitar, hard shell Pokémon. This pupa flies around wildly by venting with great force the gas pressurized inside its body. Tyranitar, armor Pokémon. Extremely strong, it can change the landscape. It is so insolent that it doesn't care about others. Stonejourner, big rock Pokémon. The elemental composition of the rocks that form its body were found to match the bedrock of a land far away from this Pokémon's habitat. Askew, penguin Pokémon. Ice Face. On hot days, these Pokémon press their ice cube heads together and pass the time cooling each other down. Noise Face. The ice that was covering this Eskew's face is shattered. Askew emits cold air from the tip of its hair to protect its head, which is sensitive to heat. Pink Urchin, sea urchin Pokémon. This Pokémon generates electricity when it digests food. It uses its 5 hard teeth to scrape seaweed off surfaces and eat it. Sandygast, sand heap Pokémon. If it loses its shovel, it will stick something else, like a branch, in its head to make do until it finds another shovel. Palossand, sand castle Pokémon. The terrifying Palossand drakes smaller Pokémon into its sandy body. Once its victims are trapped, it drains them of their vitality whenever it pleases. Slowpoke, dopey Pokémon. It is incredibly slow and dopey. It takes 5 seconds for it to feel pain when under attack. Slowbro, hermit crab Pokémon. When a Slowpoke went hunting in the sea, its tail was bitten by a shelter. That made it evolve into Slowbro. Slowking, royal Pokémon. When its head was bitten, toxins entered Slowpoke's head and unlocked an extraordinary power. Shellos, sea slug Pokémon. West Sea. It used to have a shell on its back long ago. This species is closely related to Pokémon like Shelter. Gastrodon, sea slug Pokémon. West Sea. Its whole body is sticky with mucus. In the past, this form of Gastrodon was by far the most numerous one. East Sea, They normally inhabit rocky seashores, but in times of continuous rain, they can sometimes be found in the mountains, far from the sea. Shelter. Bivalve Pokémon. It is encased in a shell that is harder than diamond. Inside, however, it is surprisingly tender. Cloyster. Bivalve Pokémon. Cloyster that live in seas with harsh tidal currents grow large, sharp spikes on their shells. Quillfish. Balloon Pokémon. Be cautious if this Pokémon starts sucking in water. It will soon attack by scattering the toxic spikes that grow all over its body. Love Disc. Rendezvous Pokémon. Its heart-shaped body makes it popular. In some places, you would give a love disc to someone you love. Finian. Wingfish Pokémon. The line running down its side can store sunlight. It shines vividly at night. Lumineon. Neon Pokémon. With its shining light, it lures its prey close. However, the light also happens to attract ferocious fish Pokémon, its natural predators. Bruxish. Gnash Teeth Pokémon. It grinds its teeth with great force to stimulate its brain. It fires the psychic energy created by this process from the protuberance on its head. Alamomola. Caring Pokémon. It gently holds injured and weak Pokémon in its fins. Its special membrane heals their wounds. Skrelp. Mock Kelp Pokémon. Skrelp evades its enemies by hiding amid drifting seaweed. It eats rotten seaweed to create its poison. Dragulch. Mock Kelp Pokémon. Using a liquid poison, Dragulch indiscriminately attacks anything that wanders into its territory. This poison can corrode the undersides of boats. Clauncher. Water Gun Pokémon. This Pokémon launches water by detonating gas inside its right claw. It snipes flying Pokémon. Clawitzer. Howitzer Pokémon. Clawitzer can move through the water at a speed of 60 knots by using gas inside its body to expel water from the back of its claw. Dynamo. Elefish Pokémon. While one alone doesn't have much power, a chain of many Dynamo can be as powerful as lightning. Electric. Elefish Pokémon. They coil around foes and shock them with electricity-generating organs that seem simply to be circular patterns. Electros. Elefish Pokémon. They crawl out of the ocean using their arms. They will attack prey on shore and immediately drag it into the ocean. Marini. Brutal Star Pokémon. This Pokémon wanders the seaside looking for food. It often gets electric shocks from broken pink urchin spines that it tries to eat. Toxapex. Brutal Star Pokémon. This Pokémon lives within a dome made of its own legs. Toxapex monitors its surroundings by sensing the flow of the tide through its spikes. Flamigo. Synchronized Pokémon. This Pokémon apparently ties the base of its neck into a knot so that energy stored in its belly does not escape from its beak. Dratini. Dragon Pokémon. It sheds many layers of skin as it grows larger. During this process, it is protected by a rapid waterfall. Dragonair. Dragon Pokémon. They say that if it emits an aura from its whole body, the weather will begin to change instantly. Dragonite. Dragon Pokémon. It is said that somewhere in the ocean lies an island where these gather. Only they live there. Snom. Worm Pokémon. It eats snow that has accumulated on the ground. It prefers soft, freshly fallen snow, so it will eat its way up a mountain, aiming for the peak. Frostmoth. Frostmoth Pokémon. Frostmoth senses air currents with its antennae. It sends its scales drifting on frigid air, making them fall like snow. Snover. Frost Tree Pokémon. During cold seasons, it migrates to the mountain's lower reaches. It returns to the snow-covered summit in the spring. Abomasnow. Frost Tree Pokémon. It lives a quiet life on mountains that are perpetually covered in snow. It hides itself by whipping up blizzards. Delibird. Delivery Pokémon. It carries food all day long. There are tales about lost people who were saved by the food it had. Cupchew. Chill Pokémon. Many of this species can be found along the shorelines of cold regions. If a Cupchew lacks dangling snot, there's a chance it is sick. Beartic. Freezing Pokémon. It is a ferocious, carnivorous Pokémon. Once it captures its prey, it will breathe cold air onto the prey to freeze and preserve it. Snorunt. Snow Hat Pokémon. It is said that several Snorunt gather under giant leaves and live together in harmony. Glalie. Face Pokémon. Its prey is instantaneously frozen stiff by the cold air it exhales from its huge mouth. While they're in that frozen state, it gobbles them up. Frostlass, snowland Pokemon. When it finds humans or Pokemon it likes, it freezes them and takes them to its chilly den, where they become decorations. Cryogonal, crystallizing Pokemon. Cryogonal appear during cold seasons. It is said that people and Pokemon who die on snowy mountains are reborn into these Pokemon. Cetoddle, Terra whale Pokemon. This species left the ocean and began living on land a long time ago. It seems to be closely related to Whalmer. Cetitan, Terra whale Pokemon. This Pokemon wanders around snowy, icy areas. It protects its body with powerful muscles and a thick layer of fat under its skin. Bergmite, ice chunk Pokemon. They live in mountainous regions of frigid cold. On rare occasions, they ride on the back of an Avalugg to cross seas and move to new habitats. Avalugg, iceberg Pokemon. As Avalugg walks along with Bergmite on its back, it comes across pods of Cetitan. It lets them pass to avoid conflict. Rufflet, eaglet Pokemon. They pick fights indiscriminately. They grow stronger and more powerful each time they faint or are injured. Braviary, valiant Pokemon. The more scars they have, the more respect these brave soldiers of the sky get from their peers. Poniard, sharp blade Pokemon. Poniard will fearlessly challenge even powerful foes. In a pinch, it will cling to opponents and pierce them with the blades all over its body. Bisharp, sword blade Pokemon. This Pokemon commands a group of several Poniard. Groups that are defeated in territorial disputes are absorbed by the winning side. King Gambit, big blade Pokemon. Only a Bisharp that stands above all others in its vast army can evolve into King Gambit. Dino, irate Pokemon. It can't see, so its first approach to examining things is to bite them. You will be covered in wounds until a Dino warms up to you. Swellis, hostile Pokemon. The two heads do not get along at all. If you don't give each head the same amount of attention, they'll begin fighting out of jealousy. Hydreigon, brutal Pokemon. Only the central head has a brain. It is very intelligent, but it thinks only of destruction. Veluza, jettison Pokemon. When Veluza discards unnecessary flesh, its mind becomes honed and its psychic power increases. This bare flesh has a mild but delicious flavor. Dondozo, big catfish Pokemon. This Pokemon is a glutton, but it's bad at getting food. It teams up with a Tatsugiri to catch prey. Tatsugiri, mimicry Pokemon, curly form. This is a small dragon Pokemon. It lives inside the mouth of Dondozo to protect itself from enemies on the outside. Droopy form. This species' differing colors and patterns are apparently the result of Tatsugiri changing itself to suit the preferences of the prey it lures in. Stretchy form. Bird Pokemon are its main prey. This Pokemon knows it's weak, so it hunts with a partner. Great Tusk, Paradox Pokemon. Sightings of this Pokemon have occurred in recent years. The name Great Tusk was taken from a creature listed in a certain book. Screamtail, Paradox Pokemon. There has been only one reported sighting of this Pokemon. It resembles a mysterious creature depicted in an old expedition journal. Brute Bonnet, Paradox Pokemon. It is possible that the creature listed as Brute Bonnet in a certain book could actually be this Pokemon. Fluttermane, Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon has characteristics similar to those of Fluttermane, a creature mentioned in a certain book. Slitherwing, Paradox Pokemon. This mysterious Pokemon has some similarities to a creature that an old book introduced as Slitherwing. Sandy Shocks, Paradox Pokemon. No records exist of this Pokemon being caught. Data is lacking, but the Pokemon's traits match up with a creature shown in an expedition journal. Iron Treads, Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon closely resembles a scientific weapon that a paranormal magazine claimed was sent to this planet by aliens. Iron Bundle, Paradox Pokemon. Its shape is similar to a robot featured in a paranormal magazine article. The robot was said to have been created by an ancient civilization. Iron Hands, Paradox Pokemon. It is very similar to a cyborg covered exclusively by a paranormal magazine. The cyborg was said to be the modified form of a certain athlete. Iron Jugulis, Paradox Pokemon. It resembles a certain Pokemon introduced in a paranormal magazine, described as the offspring of a Hydreigon that fell in love with a robot. Iron Moth, Paradox Pokemon. This Pokemon resembles an unknown object described in a paranormal magazine as a UFO sent to observe humanity. Iron Thorns, Paradox Pokemon. It has some similarities to a Pokemon introduced in a dubious magazine as a Tyranitar from 1 billion years into the future. Frigibax, Iron Fin Pokemon. Frigibax absorbs heat through its dorsal fin and converts the heat into ice energy. The higher the temperature, the more energy Frigibax stores. Arctibax, Ice Fin Pokemon. Arctibax freezes the air around it, protecting its face with an ice mask and turning its dorsal fin into a blade of ice. Baxcalibur, Ice Dragon Pokemon. This Pokemon blasts cryogenic air out from its mouth. This air can instantly freeze even liquid hot lava. Gimmighoul, Coin Chest Pokemon. Chest form. This Pokemon was born inside a treasure chest about 1500 years ago. It sucks the life force out of scoundrels who try to steal the treasure. Goldengo, Coin Entity Pokemon. Its body seems to be made up of 1,000 coins. This Pokemon gets along well with others and is quick to make friends with anybody. Wo-chien, Ruinous Pokemon. The grudge of a person punished for writing the king's evil deeds upon wooden tablets has clad itself in dead leaves to become a Pokemon. Chien-pao, Ruinous Pokemon. This Pokemon can control 100 tons of fallen snow. It plays around innocently by leaping in and out of avalanches it has caused. Ting-lu, Ruinous Pokemon. The fear poured into an ancient ritual vessel has clad itself in rocks and dirt to become a Pokemon. Chi-Yu, Ruinous Pokemon. It controls flames burning at over 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. It casually swims through the sea of lava it creates by melting rock and sand. Roaring Moon, Paradox Pokemon. It is possible that this is the creature listed as Roaring Moon in an expedition journal that still holds many mysteries. Iron Valiant, Paradox Pokemon. It has some similarities to a mad scientist's invention covered in a paranormal magazine. Miraidon, Paradox Pokemon. Apex build. This seems to be the Winged King mentioned in an old expedition journal. It is said to have split the land with its bare fists. Miraidon, Paradox Pokemon. Ultimate Mode. Much remains unknown about this creature. It resembles Cyclizar, but it is far more ruthless and powerful.